up the project, and I'm going to put it into the image. And what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to copy its name, delete the original image, and then just paste the name. And then I'm fairly certain this is off. And let's run it again. Okay, still looks pretty crappy. But what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to make a bit of changes, because honestly I'm not really sure I like it the way that it looks. So I'm going to change it, the background of this entire section, into some of the blacks that we're using, and we're going to rename all this and then remove these CTA buttons. And I think I'm going to change this inter font as well. It looks way too bland. So first things first, I want to go into my design system file, and then what I'm gonna say is, yeah, let's just, or actually what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna say that make the hero I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna make it as the background for the entire section. Of course, this is going to be a lot easier if you have two screens, right? You can just put one screen. You can just put your browser on one screen and then this in the other one. It already looks better, I would say. I like the way that it looks. Then I'm gonna say remove. I'm gonna say from the hero section, please remove this, your trainings partner. I think it was called the teardrop or something. What was it called? The eyebrow, sorry, yeah, not the teardrop. Your training partner, and also remove the 2x CTA buttons. And you can see it also updated the code as well. It removed some of the code, so we can see we have less lines here. And yeah, it looks quite good. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to update the text. So instead of, again, going into the component and try to find them, I'm just going to go into the English one. And instead of train with intention, I'm going to say something like, it will be the Strava for functional fitness. Now I heard in the previous recordings that there's some background noise happening, so I'm gonna try to be less intent with my typing. Let's see, how does it look? Oh, yeah, I need to save it. Sure, why not? And then track your workouts, and instead of this, I'm just going to say coming soon. Coming soon. If you don't want to get this autocomplete, then just press escape. And now if we go to the Danish version, we're gonna have to double check to see if it updated. It generally doesn't. So yeah, but we can also remove the eyebrow key here because we don't have that anymore. And we shouldn't be getting any errors whatsoever. So let's save it. You can see you're not getting any errors because the component was removed. Okay, I don't like this, but it should be something. Or another dirty trick could be that you just say you leave it empty for now, if you don't know what should come there or what text do you want to insert. Ik train mijn intention. Just gonna make this faster. And I'm just gonna make sure that the translation is correct. So, what did I say it's going to be? Let's see how that looks. I need to save, and then when we go onto the website and we switch onto the Danish one, Sport in Trainingen. Okay, this shouldn't be there. Because we removed the subtitle, right? Okay, let's put it like this. Save. Is it? So we can see that on the Danish page it didn't update, and we're just going to ask our large language model why. So I have updated the text in DA-JSON in the hero section. Let's see. And the way that I'm taking time to work through this problem is to just show you that there are different ways that you can approach this. So I want you to look into in some of these files, and I want to sort of implicitly present and explicitly present how some of these files work, so you're not afraid to look into these codes and to try to figure out what it is, right? Because also sometimes what happens is that Lovable doesn't really show you this, or it hides the option of going in and looking and perhaps typing and fixing some parts for yourself. And instead it kind of forces you to prompt it all the time, which is fine, but that also means that you're just burning through tokens, right? Okay, now it fixed this. And let's see what was the issue here. Remove the unused link import. Okay, so I've updated. Oh no, here. Okay, so it read through. So the JSON keys to the component look correct. The translation keys match perfectly. There's almost certainly a dev server. Oh yeah, so again, yeah. So it's not the cookies that we need to clear, but it's the cache. So the cache is a set of sort of locally saved information that should make functionality and loading and reloading faster in the future. Look at it a bit like that. Yeah, so this looks good. And what I said was that, okay, first of all, I want to remove this komigang because we're not there yet. And then I want all of these things to be removed as well, because I'm only making a landing page for now. So what I'm going to say is that in the top nav bar, please remove the links to the other pages, as well as the CTA button get started. Oops, should be a CTA. Let's see. Perfect. Looks good. And I want to change my font. And I've been looking, and I think I'm going to use this Open Sans instead. It has a bit more character, and it doesn't look. I think changing the body font is going to make it look less vibe codedy, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna update my system design, and this is going to be Open Sans. Good, and let me just close this down and make it pretty. And we're gonna save it because we need to save. And what I'm gonna say is that I want my body font to be replaced from Inter to Open Sans. Good. And I'm going to add 4 more files. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add another section that is going to have some cards that is going to present the features, and I'm going to do a very short footer, and then we're going to move forward publishing this this entire website. All right. So I have some saved print screens here for it, and Fitras websites. And then this is for the, yes. So I have these 4 PNGs. Again, we're gonna update these images onto a different format later on. All right. And let's look at one of the layouts. How should we describe it? So I want a section with 4 cards. Let's see, we have a 2-column feature, 3-column. We don't have a 4-column. That's fine. And then another thing we could probably add is a email subscription section. So we can do that. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna say that, so underneath, oops, the hero component, I would like to have a 4 times card section contained with text and image. Text and image for now. Good. Just meanwhile it opens, I'm just gonna add some images that are according to the description that I want to have in my hero section. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the English one. So we have the top navigation bar. Again, we're probably going to use this down the line, but now they're just hidden, so that doesn't mean that we need to delete it. We have the hero, and this means that this is on the home page, right? Though, and I would like to make a distinction here, right? So this is within the nav collection. This is one of the keys, right? So it's home, but here home is the name of the collection that contains other keys. And let's just make another one, and we're gonna call it, how should we call it? We're gonna call it feature cards. Feature card. Right. And technically this should be because if this is the homepage collection, then we should probably put it under the homepage collection. So we're not gonna go out here, we're gonna delete this, And what we're going to do is that we're going to put a comma inside the home collection, and we're going to put the feature card here, and we're going to press this, and we're going to open a new collection. Yes. Okay, maybe I did a bit too much. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it kind of picked up on the tracker, generator, points, and whiteboard. Wow. Okay. And I have my text ready somewhere. Just give me a second. And I had my text ready based on the wireframe that we had. I just need to quickly look for it. Oh, there we go. Yes. And then correct. So a text-based insertion workout. So the first one that we're going to put is a text-based workout insertion that will automatically generate a workout template. So this is the LLM-based generator. So we're going to do this. Generator. And just gonna paste this in. Good. We can always just go to view and word wrap. Good. Then the second one is going to be the performance tracker. And the performance tracker per workout performance tracker. Yeah. Good. And then there's going to be community whiteboard. Yeah. Gonna add my text in there. And then going to be a point system. Perfetto. And I'm gonna remove the full stops for the sake of consistency. Oops. For the sake of consistency here. Okay. So this bad boy is complaining about something, and I think it's because I'm missing this. Yes. Yes. Very good. All right. Let's see, we're gonna save this, and then let's see what's happening in the browser. Okay, it looks a bit poopsy. Okay, sure. So what we have to prompt this title away. We have to prompt the fact that the all the images should be sort of moved down, and that instead it should, for the text, it should pick up the text that we have just inserted in the English version. And let's see how quickly we can fix the Danish version as well. I mean, we might as well just do this now. Oh, okay. Did it do it? Features. So hero has a features. Okay, yeah. So it didn't. So what we can do is, I'm just gonna take the entire card and I'm just gonna copy it, and let's see if this works faster this way. So I'm gonna put a comma here, I'm gonna paste everything in, and I'm just gonna, let's see, LLM based workout tracker. Okay, LLM Basil, yeah, workout tracker, perfect. And then it's also, I also have to tell you, like, you guys are experiencing a brave new world. Normally, only 2 years ago, you had to do this manually, right? There was no, I mean, you had a very basic autocomplete when you were writing code, but nowhere this intuitive intelligence that was embedded in the the IDE in the program itself. So brave new world. Hjälper med din prestationer. So let's just double check if it hits the text-based workout instruction that will automatically generate without a workout template. Good. And then we're gonna say, okay, it's clearly not. It's clearly not the same text. So what we're gonna do is just gonna be lazy, and I'm gonna do like this for now. And then, okay, let's just go back to splitting this image.
A few moments later.
So I'm back. I've translated all this part into Danish. Let's make sure we save. And yeah, let's go back and start prompting away some of these mistakes, right? So I think here, instead of everything you need, it should be features, and we should put in a feature card. And then, so this feature card collection contains keys that are essentially another collection, right? So there's like a hierarchy of collections, and then these are the real keys. So what we can actually do here is to insert a one that is called features, and then we're going to call this features, right? So instead of having this everything you need, there's gonna be something which is called features, and we're gonna put a comma here, and then we're gonna do the same here. How do you say features in Danish? Sure, let's go with that. Oops. I'm gonna say features, so the same key. Same key. And we're gonna say, what did you say? LLM? Functioner. Very good. Cool. Yeah, it looks good. Let's save it. And now we can go back to prompting a little bit, and we're gonna say that for the section title, actually, let's see if we can do this manually. So let's look at the component. We have feature. Okay. Let's just close this down. Okay. Yes. Save it, please. You go away. Yes, we saved it. Good. So let's look at where could we find it. So use translation. Use translations. Can we find it? Can we find it? There's a card title here. I wonder where. It's very interesting that it knows exactly which one is which. I think it's going to be, this is the card title, but this is a H2 tag. So I think it's going to be this one, this translation title. Okay, so it says translation title. Let's look into the Danish and English. And yeah, title. So workout tracker. No. Okay, this is ours, by the way. So what we can do is, actually we don't need this here anymore. So we can just delete this features collection, because this was the large language model generated one. We don't need you. You is not needed. And let's save. It's annoying. Yes, and let's go back to the hero, and I'm gonna say that, okay, if we, yeah, so now we have some issues, right? Because we probably deleted these translations from the features collection that we just deleted from the EN and Danish JSON files. So now we have to fix that. And we're gonna go back, and instead of Okay, what was the issue? At line 12, use translation. So instead of, it's not the hero we're looking at, but it's the features. Sorry about that. So at number 12, instead of looking at the features, we will be looking at home.featureCard. I think this should be the one. Home.featureCard. Featurecard. Okay, let's see if that works. No. And I wonder why. Should we just do feature card? No. We just have a large language model to help us fix this. But yeah, whatever. So what we're gonna say is, for the feature section, please use the keys from the home dot features. What did I call them? What is this called? Feature card collection. Where features features will be the section title, and the rest of items in the collection okay. Okay, let's take a look. Good, and let's get the Danish one. Oh, it's looking pretty good, yes. So what I'm gonna say now is move all of the images lower with 25%. So move the 4 times images from the 4 cards lower with, yeah, let's say 25%. Okay. And you can see where it makes these changes, right? So again, you could technically go into the feature.tsx and you can be like center, and I think this is 25%, and we can just do 40%. Let's see what happens. So it's all about, okay, nothing happened. What did I do wrong? Okay, so lower it with an extra 15%, please. Yeah, that's what I just did. Okay. Yeah, but nothing happened. It seems like it's compressing it. Let's do 10% just to see what the difference might be, because I feel like it's compressing it. No, it actually moved it, but it doesn't look too good. Okay, so instead of rendering the images smaller, you just move it lower, such that I can see the top half of the image. Okay. Seems like it's doing, but now I want the images perfect. It's looking better. Now I need the images to be 25% larger. So we can actually start seeing some of the graphics that are embedded in this in these images. You can start seeing some of the UX or the UI. Clouding, very good. In the meantime, perhaps now would be also a good time to give you a short presentation on what can you expect when you're going to be using Copilot. So you can see it's essentially the same. A cool thing here is that you can give it context. So the same way as we give context in the markdown files, we can also add, so now it detects that I have my design system file open. So if I press this, I can just give it a context that, whatever I'm saying, it's tied to this specific file that is open, right? And if I switch it to features, I can either add that as well or just remove it and only add this, right? You can switch between different modes here. So you can have a planning mode where you kind of plan out your entire website. You can ask it, or you can just help you prompt some code. And this is where you change your models. And this is, so I can see you have other shortcuts that might help you with your prompting tasks here, and you can just pick them from there. Yes. All right, let's see. Honestly, didn't help that much. Let's go back here. Do it again. Okay, so okay. So it is noticeably taller, yes, noticeably, but I need the size of the image to be larger, not noticeably taller, noticeably. It's not bad. But now I want my text to be okay. So whatever. It's looking okay. But now I want my text to be 25% larger. a bit weird that it's in 4, but again, I still have my 12 grid system, so that I'm limiting all of the development inside a very specific grid here. So it's never going to go as far as, for example, my top nav bar does. Okay, did you do it? Okay, it seems like it did. I'm not noticing it, but done. Okay, so done. Title, it did it as 3XL. And if we go into features, then let's see if we can do a 4XL and 4XL for the title, and for the body it says that it went from small to text base. I'm not sure what comes from text base. Okay, text base 2, I don't know. I guess let's see. I'm gonna figure it out. But it's getting larger and larger, which is nice, I guess. Good. I mean, to be honest, it is readable. Let's see. Yeah, it is readable. And good. So now the only thing I want to do is I want to keep that theme going, the one that I mentioned to you, where the different features of the app have different colors. So this bad boy over here, yeah, and then we're gonna make a footer, and we're gonna say tack for day. At least we're gonna be ready to do the final preparation, so we can start publishing the website. So what I'm gonna say is that all right, you're doing great. So I need a different background colors for the 4 cards in the following order. Good. So we're gonna say the LLM based workout generator needs to have this color. Okay, let's just minimize this for now. Good. So this bad boy has to have this color. Good. Oof. Okay. Then the second one, this is the, oh no, oh, I messed it up, sorry. It looks like your message got cut off, yes. But now I'm curious, did it do anything? Did you do it? Did you do it? Where are you? Yes. It didn't do it. Ha! It waited. That's so polite of you. Indeed, my friend. Indeed, my friend. I did cut myself off. So, actually, the workout generator is the one that is ending in 45E. All right. So the secondary one with the 45E, so the blue, that's the LLM generated. That's the LLM enabled workout card. Then what was the second one? And then the workout performance tracker. So the performance tracker, that's the orange. So this is this one. Workout tracker, then okay, website first. Then we have the community whiteboard, that's the gray one. So the community whiteboard, that's the one, this is this one. Number 4. And then finally, this one here, and this, and then which feature was this? It's the point system. Good. And then another thing, when hovering over the cards, I want a small highlighting effect. I don't know. Highlighting effect on the card. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see the result. Not what I expected. It's not bad either. You can see there's a small mistake here. There's definitely a bit of a wiggly highlighting effect happening, which is okay. And then I think here I'm gonna be like coming summer 2026. But let's fix this point system here. Let's see, is it us that made a mistake here? That we forgot to translate the last one? Yes, Alexito forgot to translate the last one. So I'm gonna quickly do this. Good. Let's save it. Go back. Very nice. Cool. Let's make a footer. I'm gonna say make a footer. I'm not sure what we're gonna add in it for now. Oh, we're definitely gonna have to add the privacy policy and terms and conditions and things like that. But I think it will, I have a feeling that it will automatically integrate this text in there. And let's put a 2026. Oops, not 2002. 2026. Good. Probably for the English one as well should be 2026. Oh, actually, I think either. So I think because this is an accolade, it was getting the data from somewhere else. So let's just keep this a year. I think by adding 2026 here, we're actually messing something up. We're not messing something up, but so it there is a function somewhere that picks up in which year we are, and it automatically updates it. Cool. And we're gonna say here that it should remove the navigation. So in the footer, please remove please remove the navigation section. Good, and make the entire footer smaller. Or let's try more discrete. Let's see what happens then. We just say that. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Perhaps I'm thinking what I was thinking is give it just another. I don't want the same gray, but perhaps a bit more gray tint. And I want the line to be removed. So first of all, I want the line that highlights the footer. Highlights the footer gone, please. Perfecto. Yeah, I like it. It's fine for now. Good, and as I said, what I'm gonna say, it's coming summer 2026. So we're gonna go back here, and then in the subtitle, this is the Danish one. So in the subtitle, we're gonna say coming or releasing in, I'm not sure. Yeah, releasing in summer. Oh, releasing in summer 2026. Good. Let's translate this quickly. Kommer. Ja, selvfølgelig, det gør ham. Yes, and let's see how it looks. So it's a lot less dramatic, this one here. Should probably find something. And we're gonna say, I'm gonna go back, and we're gonna say that in the hero section, or we can write the hero section, or we can open the hero section and give it as a context. So make the subtitle more dramatic. I'm not gonna make this easy for the model. We're thinking like just watch some soap opera or something. Okay, so yeah, I guess this is one of the disadvantages of being abstract with the model. So we're gonna say that I meant dramatic when it comes to the subtitle design, and not the text itself. Good, though it's not bad. Det slog the Mac, det blev stærkere. But we do need to say, okay, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to add I should say, I'm going to add it, I should add it somewhere. Okay, I'll think about it. But the last thing that we discussed was that we're going to add a subscription component here, so that you can sign up for a waiting list or something. And here we're gonna need an external service for us to help us. And the lowest hanging fruit that I can actually present to you is something which is called Superbase. So Superbase is a let's just go Superbase. Yes. So essentially, Superbase is a service that has a very generous free tier offer, where you can just have a database and essentially a backend service. So this entire class of companies they're offering the service called backend as a service. And what you can do is you can create a place where your the email addresses of the people who type in their email addresses are going to be saved. Because when we're going to get to the publishing, when we're going to get to Vercel, Vercel just hosts the front end. So Vercel is just going to be hosting this, essentially only this part, right? Icons, images, the text. Okay, it's gonna all the buttons that contains the links and all this, but it's not when it comes for your website to interact with any visitor. It's just not gonna do. So we're gonna have to do that separately. So for now, let's just go back here, and what we're gonna say is we're gonna drop this coming soon, though I want to come back to it, but I want to go back to my layouts and see if I have a subscription something, CTA, whatever. Desktop, tablet, mobile. No, I don't want. Oh, content form and contact. Okay, I think this looks good. Content plus form. Yeah, let's do that. So, below the features section, I want a small component that will allow visitors to type their emails in to subscribe to the products mailing list, and app waiting list. Okay, so you can see it automatically generates the text or the fields inside the two language files, which is very nice. Okay. Okay. I mean, it looks good, but I want this to be highlighted. So what I'm going to say is that this section should have the same color. It should pop out a little bit more, right? And we can see that there is a difference between these two colors. So what I'm going to say is that I want this section to have the background as the same color as the top nav bar. So the background of the, let's see what waitlist component, yes. The background color. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. So ideally on paper this looks good because this should work well because I want a bit more it gives a bit more contrast to my footer. And it's more highlighted. Maybe if we say that the width, so the background colors width should be should be as wide as the 12 grid system. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not bad. I think there's a too big of a contrast now, I would say, and this is just floating in the air with too much white around it. So actually what I'm going to say is that the footer should have a lighter background, not as dark as this, and definitely not as dark as this, but this lighter one. So the point systems, if we go back, the point systems, oh, actually I messed up. Should be the other way around, right? The community whiteboard should be the gray one, and then the green system should be, yeah. So we can, let's see if we can debug it manually. So we go back to the features. And for the, so what did we say? For the community whiteboard, let's identify. We're just gonna switch it around here. Okay, so, but the whiteboard and for the points, this works. So this is correct. But it seems like there's something wrong here. So we can see a pattern here, right? Where this is one component, oops, so from this div to this div, this is one component. From this div to this div, this is one component. So we know that it's these two, or is it? Let's see. So this is a H2, we know. So this is some sort of title. This is something larger. And then we have, okay, yeah, so the way that this works is that this is the entire component with all of the characteristics, and then it just says take this pattern and then generate it 4 times based on these collections, where for the image corresponds this, right? For each image and for each card template corresponds this. That seems to be the case, but we can just, I'm not sure what you're doing, don't compact anything, not fine, just stop. And we can ask it like, please explain the code within the features file. So let's see. Maps each key to its image from line 6 to 11. Yes, so we know this, and we know that this maps the colors. Use translations, home feature card. Yes, so that's where it takes the text. Okay, from line 31 to 55. So from line 31 to 55. Yeah, it says that. Yeah, so as I mentioned, yeah. So we can see here the function loops over the 4 keys and renders 1 card per iteration. So this is the structure, but then it says use the same structure. So this bad boy essentially does, okay, based on these keys, which are the 4 keys inside these files, and then use for every instantiation of one of the keys, just go through this collection and then pick it. So I was correct, I can still read code, very nice. But we still have a problem, and I wonder where did it get messed up? because it seems like the image, so the large language model generator, yes, this is correct. Then the performance, the stats, yes. And then card point system should be the green, and then whiteboard is the whiteboard. But why does it render it the other way around? Okay, let's prompt it. So in the features component, the last two components have their colors switched around. Sure. Funnily enough, it just, yeah, I don't know where the error, but it found the easy way out to just wrongly rename the elements and then their colors. So yeah, sure, whatever. If it works, it works, I guess. I'm gonna just add this here before I don't forget. So the subtitle come to be stärker, and then I guess stronger, coming in summer 2026. Blah, like this. Releasing in. Oops. There we go. Blue stärker. Very good. And we have to save. Very, very important. But we are at this waiting list. Yes, and then finally, yeah. So what I said was, if you go back to the, we need to change some colors, right? So if you go back to the features, what I'm gonna say is that, I'm gonna say that if we open the footer and give it a bit of context, background color. Let's see what happens for now. I generally like the footer and the top nav bar to have the same length as the screen and not snap onto the 12 grid system. Okay, this is not what I wanted. Okay, let's hope it fixes it. Yes, and I think this is also just a good point for me to save some of my work. So we're gonna cancel the, we're gonna stop the server, or you can also just keep the server running, and you can just add another terminal here, and you can see these terminals here. So I'm gonna say git add everything. It's a bit too late. I've done a lot of work, so I should have definitely saved earlier. So commit. I'm gonna say hero plus features plus footer. So these are done. So I'm gonna just keep it there. Git push origin, and then it's the main branch. Very good. I thought this is going to give it a bit of context, but let's see if we can still paste the color. Yes, so this should be the background color for the footer. And then what I'm going to say that make all text white inside. Okay, looks okay. All right. Okay, it's picked up on something weird. Okay, nothing. Okay, never mind. So these are just some of the empty pages that we're gonna have. I'm gonna say it's fine for now. So now we need to connect your database with your project. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna say product and as a database, and I'm gonna say start a project. Let's just go through this together. So I'm gonna call a new project. It's going to be called Fitras website backend. We're gonna have a password. So always have a strong database password. In region, it should definitely be Europe because it's going to make things with GDPR a lot easy, but you can also just pick something closer. So I'm just going to pick Stockholm, and it's going to enable data API. And yeah, this is a good question. We're not going to enable automatic row level security. So this is just a security feature. So your database can't be hacked, or it kind of helps for it. What I normally do is that I just prompt it. So it makes sure that I have all the security features enabled at the end. So let's just do this. Good. And now we can go back. And what I'm going to say is that I would like the wait list, because what's happening right now is if I go back to my website and I just write anything, it doesn't matter. Even if I write my email address here, okay, but there's no place where this email is saved, right? The one thing it's very important to mention, and this was one of the reasons why, as I mentioned in the first class, I did not want to add a backend system to this project, is because Supabase gives this for free. But if there is no activity, then it will pause it. So if you noticed where we were before, I have a database with a survey that I've done, but because it hasn't been used for more than 5 days, it just paused. So when the project is paused, Supabase kind of pauses it so it doesn't use resources for their servers, which makes sense, right? It's fair because it's a free service. But at the same time, if this is going to be paused and somebody wants to write an email, it's not going to be saved in the database. So unless you have a huge traffic, you're going to get these reminder emails every 4 or 5 days that make sure that your project doesn't get paused. And it can quickly become a headache. Otherwise, you can use other services, but I'm not sure any other solution is actually going to be free. And I want to keep to this theme of this course, which is how to kind of make it all together, kind of do this entire project for free. But there's no such thing as free lunch, right? So there's a pretty big drawback into using Supabase as well as a service. So that being said, let's move on. So I would like the waitlist to be connected to a Supabase database where the email address that the visitor leaves will be saved there. Good. And now I'm not so Supabase has a SQL paradigm in which it saves the data on their backend services. Some of you might know what SQL is, some of you won't. Try to see SQL as a bunch of Excel sheets that are interconnected with them. So Excel sheets or tables of data that are connected with keys amongst themselves. I think that would be the sort of the very introductory and business friendly way to, and slightly incorrect way to define what SQL is and how it works, but I think it will work for the scope of this course. But what we need is just one table for now, right? So then we can just say that so the Supabase, so the email subscription, because we're going to call the table in Supabase email subscriptions or email waitlist, let's call it, let's keep the same name. So the email waitlist table in Supabase should contain the following fields. Good. Fields. So there's going to be an ID, and this is something every table in any SQL database is going to have an ID. So we're just going to leave it an ID. Then we're going to say the email address, and it would be nice to specify the data type. So essentially we need to say that the type of data that is going to be entered in this email address should be text. And in SQL, this is going to be called varchar, or this means various characters. So it will be letters, numbers, special characters, various characters are going to be inserted. So this is the data type inside this varchar. And I think what would be interesting is also to get a timestamp of it. And then we're going to say timestamp at sign up or something, but we can just call it a timestamp. So this is going to be, it's going to just register the time and date when somebody subscribed. And then down the line, this actually might be some useful data. It's normally a sort of good to have. And I'm not sure if SQL, but Supabase definitely has a data type which is called timestamp. Yes, like this. And so I think it will record the date, the time, the second, but also the time zone. Yes. All right, so let's see what happens. Yes, allow MCP Cloud AI Supabase. Very good. So it's going to install all the things it needs, but I'm looking for specifically, yes, very good. Good. But now we're gonna need to connect the database to this project. So we're gonna say, I just do it like this. How do I connect my React plus Next.js website to the Superbase database? So fun fact, Superbase, the name and the company is actually a reaction to a Google service which is called Firebase. And what's really funny is that if you go into Firebase, this is also a very well-known service from Google. And it's mostly used for apps, but the paradigm in which the data was stored was based on these JSON files. So some of these files that we are using, and there was no SQL, and people just got so annoyed with it that the founders of Superbase, they just went on a bender for 4 or 5 days and then just created kind of a reactionary service, an SQL reactionary service to Firebase. And Superbase was really good to and Superbase is a very young company. I don't think it has more, I think it's 2 to 3 years, something like that. But they were really good to hop on the vibe coding wagon. So initially when Lovable came out, as far as I remember, it was one of the first partnerships that they did with Superbase, and they would just say, now you can vibe code very cheaply or almost for free, but we're gonna allow this, like a free tier for you guys to have in terms of backend for your websites as well. Yeah. Anyways, getting back to this. So it says that the client is installed and the credentials are in nvn.local. Okay, I'm very surprised that it actually has my project URL and my anonymous API key. So let's just double check it. I'm gonna quickly double check it and then come back to project. Let's go to and then the project name. Yeah, it's correct. And you can also go down to data API. So this should be the link. And let's look at the keys. But I'm guessing it is definitely the same key. But okay, they just updated the UI again. They do this quite often. So I'm gonna have to dig a bit deeper on where my keys are. Where my key at? There's no, I don't want to go for integrations. What I want to go is I want to do a project settings. Good. And API keys over here. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's this one. All right, cool. Make sure you cover all of this up, Alexito. Very good. There's some kitty cats that were probably going to be on this picture. On the screen and also here, but yeah, it checks out. So the way that you connect the backend service onto your project is through an API. So we talked about this application program interface. This is a protocol which helps different software systems communicate to each other. So this database has an API endpoint that is connected to the subscription component in the website. And let's explore the table a bit in Superbase. So if we go here into the database, we can see that we have only one table here, but then we can go shouldn't be table editor. No, not table editor. It should be database. I always get lost a bit in here, but in table editor. No, okay, yeah, it is in table editor. Okay, yes. So now, if I'm going to put something, if I'm going to write something in the component, it should come up here, right? So let's see, my server is still running, and what I'm going to say is, let's say Elfie adds zmenu.eu. Doe je proef in de liste precies naar. Okay. So now, if we refresh, hello, perfect. So it added a random ID associated to my email address, and it has the timestamp for it as well. Perfecto. So now, if I would go and I would reload this, I'm gonna say, I don't know, data or add, sure, I'm so fast, and I'm gonna say whatever.com. This should appear as well now. Refresh it. Perfect. Very nice. So it's working, right? We've tested it and it's working. Good. Now, one crucial thing that it's probably one of the most important security aspects that you should take away with you out of this project, because now we have this env.local file that is storing API keys, and these API keys, as you can see with all the kitties on the screen before, this is not something that we share. So the way that it works is that on our local computer we have this it normally is .env, but okay, .env.local, sure, that contains all of these keys. And this is not something that should go, this should be saved on GitHub. As a matter of fact, I think that Supabase just implemented recently a service that if it finds API keys saved on GitHub, it automatically catalogs it as like a critical danger and stops the service or something like that. I don't know, I saw TikTok, but it kind of makes sense, because there were so many vibe coders that they were saying like blah blah blah, okay, I'm just gonna copy paste the API keys randomly, and then when I push my code, I'm gonna push it to GitHub. And the way that you make sure that you don't push this file onto the central repository is by, yes, you guessed it, looking at the git ignore file. So you can already see that there's a bunch of files that have the large language models, and I think this is boilerplate code as well. Like when you install Next.js, there's a bunch of like files that are not really needed, to be saved in the global repository. But now it says here .env star. My understanding is don't ignore, so Git should ignore any files that start with .env and star. And the reason why I think it's .env and then whatever comes after, and this comes from a different computer science concept with regex, regular expressions, and then normally a star means everything. So, but we can just ask it. Let's see, we can review it. So yeah, so the pattern .env will ignore all files start with env, including env example, env local. So this is what exactly we need. We know that this env.star will also include the env.local. Perfecto. So we know that we're not going to expose our API keys here as well. And then if you add in the future any other services, that is going to require these API keys, you should just store them here, right, inside. And then these are, again, the same way these are keys, the same way these keys are going to be used in different parts of your code. And this is just only going to be saved locally on your computer. Now later on, when we publish our website, we're going to have to, because if we save this locally, when we push our website onto Vercel, Vercel's not going to know, oh, okay, well, which exact database should the subscription component be connected to? So we're going to have to reinsert these keys in the future when we're publishing our website. Cool. So this is a good way of saving, to have a very lightweight backend service with too much headache. But I also remember we got Sarah, she asked she talked about this idea of having the possibility of having a PDF to be downloaded in case somebody signs up. And I think I'm going to take this as a one-on-one. So we're going to skip this now. But knowing how the system works, if you want different variations or permutation of the service, hopefully by now you have the courage and a bit of understanding on how to navigate it and how to prompt it. So we're going to move forward. The next part that we're going to be talking about, so let's revisit our list of tasks. Oh, it's actually just here. So we talked about something like this. So we talked about the MD file. So we're done with this. We talked about the images. We're done with this. We talked about fonts. We're done with this. We did create the home page. We should just talk about icons, and then we need to discuss a bit about robot.txt. So robot.txt, and then we're gonna have to do a sitemap as well for our website for Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools. But we're gonna do this when we're gonna get there. So these icons that we're gonna have to look at will have to do with the icon that pops up here in the browser, but also when you search for something. So yeah, so let's look at my website again. Yeah, so also these icons here that you get, right? And then all these icons, they have to have different formats and different sizes. Oh, and then one last thing that we need to talk about is the proper image format. So we need to do the proper image format for website. And I think this is going to be WebP versus AVIF. Let's see which one we're going to choose. And we also need to do a comprehensive security check. So what we're going to say is prompt a global security check with, and then we discussed this row level security. Important, or remember row level security in Supabase. Good. And then another thing that I want to talk about, not you, my friend. No, go back. Good. So the other thing that I want to talk about is images, global security check. I just had it. Oh yeah, the mobile view. So make sure that the mobile view of the website. Good. So these are still on our to-do list, and I think we should do these for. And actually, we're probably gonna add. No, we're going to publish the website. So we go through this, and then we're going to come back and add some more code afterwards. Good. So actually, what we can start doing is looking at the mobile view of the website. So annoying. So annoying. Just gonna lock the background here. Oh, so much better. Good, so these are still on the doing phase, and then what we're doing now is the mobile view of the website. And the easiest way to check if there's if it works well is that you're gonna right click on your browser, you're gonna go into developer tools, and you're gonna go for inspect. And then here you should have a image that switches from a mobile view to a desktop view. And because my website is so simple, right? There's not a lot of room for failure in my mobile view. By the way, if you see this is just an icon from Next.js that shows that we're in like dev mode. But this is automatically gonna go away when we publish the website, so just ignore it. Okay, but as I said, my website is very simple, and there's not a lot of room for failure, right? But we can also always just say, so review the entire website, and then we can say pages and components. And make sure that they are all mobile view friendly. And then we can just do this. Cool. I'm gonna pause here